Today, Wednesday, January 20th, is Inauguration Day, and it's the day that President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris go through the ceremony that officially makes them President and Vice President of the United States. And because this is such an important day, we're going to look at President and Vice President today. So there are three branches of the U.S. government: the legislative, which writes and makes the laws; the executive, which carries out the laws; and the judicial, which evaluates the laws or decides whether the laws are just or correct or incorrect. And the president is the head of the executive branch of the United States. The president is elected every 4 years. They must be at least 35 years old and a U.S. citizen. And if you look at the image under president, you can see that the president is the head. It's the most important person in the executive branch, and that will be Joseph Biden. And then the president is underneath him, and that's Kamala Harris. And then the president and vice president both have a cabinet, which is a group of people who represent different departments in the U.S. government. The way that a candidate becomes a president is through the Electoral College. Right now in the United States, there are two main political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. There are many smaller ones, but the Democrats and the Republicans are the biggest and the most powerful and have the most influence. So basically, each state votes for who they want as a president. And as you can see from this image here, there's a number for each state, and that's how many votes the state gets for who they want to be president. And that's those people who cast those votes are called the electors. And for example, if you look at Oklahoma, has 7 electors. Texas has 38. They're all different numbers. It's basically according to population. So each state basically votes for a Democrat or Republican, and then all those votes go to represent the Electoral College. So there are 538 electors, 100 for each senator, and 435 for each state representative, and 3 representatives for Washington, D.C. Like I said, Oklahoma has 7 electors, and a candidate must have 270 electoral votes to become president. And Joseph Biden received 306 votes in 2020. Joseph Biden is from Delaware. He will be our 46th president. He was also the vice president under Barack Obama. He is a Democrat, and he will be inaugurated on Wednesday the 20th. So his running mate is Kamala Harris, and she is from California. She's also a Democrat. Again, both of these people serve 4-year terms, and or if they get reelected, they serve 4-year terms, and if they get reelected, then they can serve another 4 years. But presidents and vice presidents can only serve 2 terms. And it's created that way so one person, the person in the executive branch, doesn't become too powerful, and that the power of the government is spread out among the different branches of the government. So we have never had a female president or vice president before. She's the first woman to hold either position. She's the first African American, first Asian American vice president, and she is the highest ranking female elected official in U.S. history. So the president has many duties. So after Congress writes the laws, he either signs or vetoes them. So that is his sole responsibility. He can decide if a law that Congress has passed becomes a law or doesn't become a law. He also enforces the laws. And while he's not part of the military, one of his duties is as commander-in-chief of the military, and that includes the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and the National Guard. He's also our chief diplomat, so he is the one who helps us build good relationships with other countries throughout the world. He also appoints judges, and this includes Supreme Court judges. So if there is a vacancy, if there's a place where they need another judge, he gets to choose who that judge will be, and that includes on the Supreme Court. And he has a cabinet, which is a group of people that represent different departments in the U.S. government. And he chooses the head of each of those departments, and they are called his cabinet. Usually they're called secretaries, with the exception of the Attorney General. So for example, there's the Secretary of Agriculture, the Secretary of Commerce, the Secretary of Defense, and so on. So that includes education, energy, health and human services, homeland security, housing and urban development, the interior, labor, state, transportation, treasury, and veterans affairs.